Hello everyone, welcome back. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing more advanced materials. So I'm going to start off with some of the sculptures in here and talk about texture painting, where you add colors to your objects basically. So if you look at this object here, you can see once it populates, that there is a painting on it basically. So I've got the green on the inside and the pinks on the outside. And if we look over at the UV map for it, where did it go? Under materials, it'll tell you material 0.005. So let's pull that up. Let's go alphabetical order here. O-M-N-O. I think it's radii here. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you can see that there's painting directly on our map here. Okay. So I want to show how to do that. And then also how to kind of play with transparency and stuff as well. So let's go ahead now and switch to a new model here. So I'm going to go over here, tab over to get in object mode and click on this. And then I am going to pull up a new one here. So I'll tab back over here and you can see this is the UV map for this one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to a new one, 2048 by 2048. So it's 2K texture, hit OK. And then I'm going to title it the name of the piece here, which is Codimension. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save this image as, and we'll put it into our UV maps for Codimension. So it's organized. Then what we want to do is come over here to our materials, get rid of this one. So minus that one. Oops, I got to be in object mode to get rid of materials. So then get rid of that one. New, and then under new here we're going to look for our material. We'll call it Codimension, and then we're going to click on the base color here, and now we're going to look for the UV map we saved on our computer titled Codimension. So click on base color, the little yellow dot here, go to image texture. And I'm going to go to open, and I'm going to look for my UV maps folder, and I've got Codimension right here, and open the image. Okay, so now that image is assigned to this object. Let's switch views here, and it's of course all black. And then I'm going to tab back over into edit mode. So now we've created a image with the UV map that we've saved to our computer, and now we've assigned it to the object so we can paint it. So let's go to texture painting here. Okay. And of course it zooms me way back out. If I hit the decimal point, it zooms me back in. And then again, if you don't have a decimal point on your numpad, because you don't have a numpad, it's under the view tab here, frame selected object. So if you select the object, it'll frame it. Okay. So next we can start painting it. And I'm going to just start with a bucket tool here. I'm going to change this color to kind of a reddish violet kind of color that's darker. About right there. And then I'm just going to click on it. And then you see how it filled in the whole UV map with that color too. So we're literally painting on the UV map simultaneously. And we can also paint directly on the UV map, which is not what I wanted to do exactly, because I don't have a really good idea of where things are. So I'm going to actually just do a couple of colors on this one. Let's just, switch to something even darker here and switch to a brush and brush kind of some of the area in here. And there are different brushes you can get and stuff, but for what my purposes are, do your own research on adding more brushes and stuff. But for my purposes, I don't need all that. Okay, so I'm just kind of filling in certain areas, because when I made this, this was made out of epoxy resin, and I basically took a kind of like a magenta tone, and I dumped it in, and then I also dumped in some like black mixed with the magenta, so it has a little bit of like striations throughout it. Okay, and you can smear it too, right? So like if you wanted to kind of like blend the two colors together, you can do that as well, which I do want to do. All right. Cool. So that's it. That's all there is to it. But, and this is a big but, if you forget, this isn't how you save it to the image. So right now the material is assigned to it. You've made some modifications to it. It's cached the way it is. If you see this little star next to your image here, that means it's not saved yet. That means that everything we just did is kind of just temporary. So go ahead and click on that and go save. And it just saves that onto the object. Perfect. So now when we look at it in rendered view, you can see it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and bump up my samples here so that it renders a little bit more of them. Okay. So I'll switch now. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it here. So I want to make this like a glass almost material here. So I'm going to go back over to my materials here, and under my codimension material object here, I'm going to turn my roughness all the way down so it's really shiny. And then I'm going to go to my transmission, and I'm going to bump it up some so it has like levels of transparency to it. Yeah, so now that looks more like my actual sculpture. We've got like an epoxy resin based look to it. And I might actually, let me reduce some of the, make it a little rougher. Okay. So that's it for texture painting. It's very basic, but you can dig deeper on it. There's a lot of other things that you can do with it. But for my purposes, for this specific object, that's going to do it. Thank you very much.